I have this class right here. It's called Space Mechanics. So this is my current class right now. So if you can see there on the right hand side. So right now, just to answer Dr. Raju's question, we can have like a breakout room.
Another question from Elisha Ismail. She's interested to know the software that you use to record the screen.
Okay. If you know LaTeX, this will be really useful for math teachers, for example. So you can just type that, and then it's pretty this way. At the end, it's all about your students. What matters is your students, whether they can actually learn or not. And today, I just want to introduce you to yet another app or program to facilitate your online teaching. So I thought I want to share with you guys, share with all on how you can use Discord for your own online classes as well. And I think your students will enjoy it as well. So let me start with a few. So you can just go to discordapp.com, discordapp.com. And it's just, I think, about 50 megabytes. It's not, only take minutes to install. You can also use the web version, but that one is, I think you can't do share screens or share your webcams with the web version. But web version is useful if you just want to listen to or watch others' videos. So it's a voice and video chat. It has live screens, webcams, just like Zoom, just like Microsoft Teams, just like Google Hangout and everything. But it has something more that I really like. It's free, it's easy to set up, and it's lightweight. It doesn't have any limit number of users. And actually, many students already have Discord. You can try ask your students, hey, have you heard of Discord? I'm sure some of your students will be like, yeah, we've used Discord, but for playing games and whatnot. But I think if we can utilize this for education, that will be better. Okay, so it's capable of live stream screens, webcams, and other programs from your desktops. You can communicate with not only video, but also text, voice, and all that. It allows uploads, share links, videos easily. Another reason why I use Discord, though, is I found this slide from, I think it was from Dr. Aira or Dr. Masnida from FEP, our Faculty of Educational Studies. They have posted up this diagram on the lectures. It shows it talks about low bandwidth teaching, how to teach our students when the internet connectivity is slow. So, which means that not all can access or can use Zoom webinar, for example, or any other video video conferencing apps. Many may have to resort to just WhatsApp communication, for example. So we actually have to look into low bandwidth teaching, how to teach students when both of us have slow internet connectivity. And I think for me, I think using Discord, it allows also for me to teach in low bandwidth situation. I can just have a high quality discourse with my students, with just chats, sending pictures, sending emojis, sending out polls, type out equations and everything. It works so well in Discord. So I'm going to show it to you later on. So I think for me, Discord is suitable for real time, synchronous, and also asynchronous. So this is how I'm going to do my presentations. I will show you how to set up quickly my server, and I will do some demos. Okay, so what you can do first is just after you download and install your Discord app, what you can do is just first you can just create your classroom server. So once you have downloaded and installed your Discord app, you can create your own server simply by just clicking on the plus sign and then create a server, and then you'll be given an invite link. I'll show you some later on. Secondly, set your server settings and role. If you're aware, I think I've asked Kate to post up my Google Slides link also, so you will have access to these slides if you can't follow what's going on here. And then the third step is, the second step is to set server setting and roles. And the reason we want to do this is because when you have multiple users in one server, you want to separate which one are the lecturers who can get access to, for example, who can give lectures, who can share links, who can post up assignments, for example. And you probably also want to have some other classroom role examples like class rep, or maybe team leader for your students to create their own groups and all that. And then also third, you can set up new channels. I'll explain this with a demo. Okay, let me bring you to my Google, sorry, not Google, my Discord app. So I have this class right here, it's called Space Mechanics. So this is my current class right now. So if you can see there on the right-hand side, these are the different roles. So just for fun, my role is Sensei. I'm the lecturer of the, it's just an insider joke, Sensei. And then I have one class rep, I call her Senpai. And then we have all the other students. So on the right-hand side, you can see there's the list of all my students. Right now, they are online. Some of them still sleeping, I guess you can see. Oh yeah, we have no class today. And in the middle here, we have a chat room where you can actually, talk about things. So what I have right now is a chat room. I can set up this channel here. I can set up another channel for my lecture notes. So in these channels, only I can post my stuff in here. So I post up my YouTube video. This one is talking about three-body problem. And then I post up some tips from the internet, for example. So only I can submit in these channels. And I also have a channel for students to discuss about the assignments, for example. So we can all set up these channels easy. You can just go to here. These are all list of channels that we have. Create channel, and you can create whatever you want. Channel name.
Dosala, there is a question for you. This is from Alicia Ismail. So she asks, so the app has to be installed, yeah? Can we opt to use the online version instead? That was her question.
Okay. If you are a lecturer, I will highly recommend you to download and install the app. The reason is only with the desktop version, you can do share screen. You can share your screen, you can share your webcam. If you decide to use the web version, I think you can only be, you cannot do screen sharing or you cannot do webcam, but you can still do text, messaging and all. But as a lecturer, I highly recommend you download and install it. Because it's so much easier, you can do much more with that. But your students, they can opt for the web version, fine.
There's another question.
Sure.
This is from Dr. Raj, I think.
Hi, Dr. Raj.
He asks, can you have breakout rooms or groups? I think it means breakout. He actually spelled breakout, so I'm not sure, but I think it means breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Or groups.
Yeah, actually, that is a really great question because I really want to show you something. Okay, to answer Dr. Raj's question, yeah. So what I have here on this left-hand side is, if you can see hashtags, those are text channels. So you can have many, you can set up your own channels and everything. If you see down here, it's called voice channels, okay? And those are actually the place where we can do our group discussion, or you can hear your voice, can share your screen. Okay, I will show you an example of my other class, which is not really class. Actually, I've made another one here just for us. In the voice channel, so here on the left-hand side, you can see my voice channel. So I have 3 voice channels here. One is called lecture. Another one is breakout group 1. And you can see my students are discussing about something. and another breakout group too. My students are discussing about something. So I can just go to this group and see what they're doing. Hi. So I'm just showing you them here that you have a breakout room here. So the students right now are discussing some stuff. Are you discussing about your assignments? Yeah, hopefully. Uh, so, and then I can go to another group, for example. So these are my students, another group. Hi. So they are discussing their things in the breakout group. So what I can do right now is this. Hey, can you guys go to the lecture room? I need to for all of you to just be in the lecture room, ya. Boleh? Okay, tinggalkan ni kejap, kita masuk lecture room. Okay. Hello guys. Jom masuk lecture. Jom. Alright. Okay. So right now, just to answer Dr. Raj's question, we can have like a breakout room just now with the students, and we can also, this is my lecture room. In this room, only I will speak. They can speak also, but they need to do like what we do in Zoom. You know, you gotta unmute the microphone to talk. So I can do my lectures here, for example, yeah. So with Go Live, you can actually share your screen here. So this is what I'm going to do. So as you can see, this is my screen here at the bottom here. So this is my screen. So for example, I can, you want to show my my slides, for example, I can do this. So the students will see those screens. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing right now here is, you can see this is like infinity screens. This is because I'm sharing, the Discord is sharing what I'm seeing. So this, all students can see what's going on here. So for example, yeah, so I can just turn it off, for example. If I want to be out of the lecture room, I can go back in and then turn on my video if I want, or just share my screen if I want. So this is how I do it with my students, for example. The students have the options of not sharing their videos. The students also have the options to just to also share their screens, so they can do everything here. And I can just also just make them all go to their respective groups and discuss about things. Okay. So it might seem complicated at first. You can see a lot of things here. So let me just break it down for you, what you really need to see. Yeah. So if you just downloaded your Discord, what you're going to see is something like this. You know, you're going to see your list of friends. And then you're going to see on the left-hand side, these are all your servers. Okay. So if you want to create your servers, you just click add a server here for your classroom. Say, for example, add a server. Oh, another server, huh? Yeah, create that. Okay, so this is my classroom. For example, if you want to put your class name, for example, this is my class name, Satellite Technology. This is for example, so you can name your server your own class. So just create. So what it will do, it will send you an invite link, which you will send to your students. And then if the students click the invite link, they will be directed to this Discord server, provided they already have the Discord app installed in their machines with a phone or computer. Okay, so you can just copy this and then post it, email it to your students or WhatsApp to your students. You can do that. Okay, so if your server is new, this is what you're going to see. On here, these are all the text channels and voice channels if you want. And here in the middle here, it's all the chat, you know, all you can do here. Hello, you can chat with the students here. And on the right hand side here, these are all the list of all students. Okay, so you can add more text channels like what I have done. You can also set your voice channels. So probably I didn't mention it to you. Yeah, text channels are for text only. So that means you can't use audio. Sorry, you can't use your voice chat or video. You need to go to voice channels to do your video stuff. For example, like this one, you know, there's an option to turn off your camera. Right now, my camera is used by Zoom, so I can't. Apparently, I can't do that for both programs, but I can share my screen here. You know, so that's good. So if there's another students in here, they will see your screen as well. Okay. So I'll stop for another question if you have one. If not, I'll just do a walkthrough, or not really a walkthrough, just do a visit to my channel, which I have done here. So for my channel, I have, wait a second. What is this? So what in my channel, I have a few text channels where the students can post, you know, they can do it chat. The thing I like about this Discord chat, other than other video conferencing app, is they can use.
Dr. Salah, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
If you want to go on with that, that's fine. But someone asked if you could show us again, how do you
set up server?
Set up, yeah. No, I mean set up the breakout session. That was the question. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Let's
a cool request from
go
you.
to the server that I've created just now. Okay. So you want to create a breakout session just like what I've done in one of my classes. So you probably want that breakout session to be not text only channel, but also but voice and video channel. So what you can do is this: you create a voice channel, for example, create a channel, make sure it's a voice channel, and then you can name it Breakout Group number 1. Okay, create channel. So you will have one here, and then if you want to create another one, well, of course you can always create. Let's create just 2 at the moment. Okay, group 2. So now what I've created is I've created a voice channel for general audience. I've created breakout group here. Now every students can pick whichever group they want, but they can only be in one channel, one voice channel at one time. So for example, if they are here, they cannot be in the group 2, breakout group 2. So students can only choose one breakout group. Now, an advanced setting, yeah? If you want to limit the audience, for example, who can be in this group, okay? So you can go to edit channel, you can look at the permissions, and you can set up who can actually, you know, speak in this channel. You can share videos, whether whether the users of the voice channel can mute members or deafen members. So you can look at this permission here. Let me show you what I've done in my in this one, UPMK. So what I've done here is this. My channel here, the permission is I give freedom for my students to do anything they want in this channel. So they can connect with each other, they can call their friends, invite them in their channels, they can use their videos, they can mute members, for example. So I give total freedom for my students, but only for that channel. But for the lecture channel, my channel, only I have the permission to do many things. So everyone cannot create invite, cannot manage channel, but I, Sensei, I can do everything.
Okay, there are 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
Okay, this one is from let me do that again. Okay, from Dr. Atira binti Nawawi from Faculty of Science. So she asks, so first thing is to create server, or Dr. Salah will invite to join existing server maybe for this session.
Boleh. I can invite you to my server right now. So if you can see, this is my server right now. What I'm going to do is invite people. So I have this existing channel. Okay. So I name it UPM Kate because for this session. So I can just click here, invite people. I will copy this and I will post it up here. So if you have downloaded or if you want to use the web version, it's fine. Just copy and paste this link to join the UPM Kate server. Everyone can be there and ask questions and stuff like that. If you want to experience Discord firsthand. Okay.
More questions for you, Dr. Sana.
Sure. Yeah.
Dr. Fatlina actually have 2 questions. So the first one, she asked, are the text channel and voice channel active during the session, or it will stay in the server all the time? Do we have to create new session every time we want to communicate with the students? That was her first question. And her second question was,
I gotta write it down.
Yeah, let me read the second question from
Okay.
Dr. Fatlina. Does student has any role in each breakout room? Example, they become a shared host or for each room.
Okay. The question to the answer to the first question is no. Answer to the second question is yes. The first question was voice and text channel. Will it go away if you close the server? We go offline. The answer is no. You've set it up. It will be there forever. So if you have set your text channel, voice in it, it will be there. If you log out, you turn off your computer and you come back in, you log back in tomorrow, it will be there. It doesn't need to be active all the time. So you can set up your classroom earlier on, everything, breakout groups, whatever, and just leave it. We'll use it later on. And that is one thing what I like about Discord is because that way it enables you to do asynchronous learning. For example, you want to post out some things and then you want to just leave it in a text channel. And then for the next week, probably the students will just go to that channel, download your lecture materials, for example. You can just leave it like that, okay? And the voice channel is for your synchronous learning. You want to show your face, for example, you want to show your screen, you want to teach them from your PowerPoint slides, for example, you can use that. So the answer to that is yes, they will stay and there forever until you delete it. The second question is about role. Can we set rules for students? Yes, you can set rules for students. For example, in this, I'll show you an example of what I've done here. You can look at the right-hand side. I have a few rules here. I myself as the lecturer of the server, so only I can do certain things. So I have a few of, I would say, team leaders or, well, I think Japanese, senpai in Japanese means senior students,
Yeah.
Maybe, that's what I use. So these students will usually are the team leaders, for example. The other students, they will be, for example, it's just a normal user. They will be online. They can join in all the text channels. They can join in voice channels. So how do I set this? For example, Sensei and Senpai. What I do is this. So this is my server. By the way, everyone get the invite link here. Discord.gg bb2dh3. Okay, hopefully someone can post it up on the text channel, on the chat room. Okay, so what I did was this. So I go to server settings. Okay. I can go to roles. So right now I already have Sensei and Senpai and everyone else. Okay, Sensei, I can do pretty much everything because I'm the creator of the server, I'm the lecturer, I pretty much can do everything. Okay, and sometimes probably I think it's good to have a class rep, a representative of the class, your students who actually sometimes they know about Discord, they know about the technical stuff. So usually you can have one or two class rep, sorry. So class rep pretty much in this case, I can let them do everything, but probably general permission, for example, here to bypass channels, probably I can just do that. So they can't do, they cannot administrate my channel, for example. They can manage rules and everything else, but probably they cannot keep members. You can do this in the role settings. If you want to create one, yeah, let's say we create something new. So I want to create what I call a, reset. Create a new role. And this new role, I would say team leader. I want them to be a team leader who can invite everyone into a channel, for example. Okay, so let's say team leader, press enter. I can choose what color their names will appear, maybe yellow. Okay, so you can choose what they can do. For example, display role members, separate your online members, mention. Okay, let's say I want them, I can ask, I want them to be able to create invite, for example, read text channel, voice channel, send messages. But for example, what else? I think I will just tick everything. Mute members, definitely, maybe not, maybe not. So what I'll do is I just save change, okay? And then I go back to my list of users, select one of my students. So I'm selecting one of my students here, Afik. Click on his name. He's already have the senpai role. I can add another role as a team leader. So right now, he has the power of a team leader. What power does a team leader have? It's up to you to set it up in the server settings. Okay.
So Dr. Salah, if you're
Yes.
ready, I have more questions for you
Sure.
from a lot of participants here. So
No
I think
worries.
a lot of people would like to know if you can, if this works similar to Zoom, you can record your videos, and if you can let other people to remote control, if you could allow somebody to remotely control the desktop. And then if you can take attendance similar to
I
Putra
see.
Blast,
Okay.
yeah, if you could store all the data in our PC, if you could use Linux machine to use the software.
Yeah. Okay. So first question was, does Discord have the auto record of the session? The answer is no. For me, the way I do that is I have another screen recording software which I use with my other stuff, because I sometimes I need to record a video of this my PowerPoint slide, me giving lectures. So I have a separate software for screen recording. And just to answer that, Discord doesn't have the Zoom capability, for example, to record your session, upload on YouTube. No, it doesn't have that. The second question was, what was it? Remind me again, Dr. Faiz.
If you could take attendance here.
Well, attendance, the way I do it is, again, I use a separate, I use Google Form usually. So what I usually do, I create a Google Form, and then the link of the Google Form, I convert it to a QR code, and then just paste the QR code on the text channel. So that way, they can, if you want to do that, that's probably the best option, I think, so far. So you can do that. But for me, for these online classes, I'm not really particular about taking attendance, because I understand some students cannot join in at the right time. They might access it later tonight, for example. So I'm not really too much concerned about attendance. But if you want to do that, like I said, I think Google Form is the best option.
Yeah, I mean, another question. If you invite your students later, okay, would she or he be able to read messages from previous session if they join, if he or she joins later?
Yes, they can do that. For example, if you have conducted your classes, post up all the materials like a week ago, and then one student just joined in. Hey, doctor, I just joined in your Discord server. What should I do? All my whatever I've posted on the server stays there. They can visit it later on. Although I've heard some people say that if you leave some files on Discord server for months or so, it will delete itself. But I haven't experienced that so far. So, but so far, yeah. If you want to join a server, for example, I have another server here, teaching online server, so I can see all these other chat posted like a while ago, even when I was not here. So yes, you can do that.
Yeah, another question for you, Dr. Salah. All this data stored locally in our PC or online?
I think it's in the cloud.
In the cloud.
Not yeah, because it's not in my PC.
Okay, another question. Is there any limit to the number of server that you can set up in Discord?
I don't think there's a limit. I've set up and set up new ones for like 7-8 times, so no problem. Plus, it's you don't have to pay anything, so I can just create another server, delete it again, create another one. I don't think there's a limit to that.
Okay, there are a couple of participants who are interested to know. I think you have addressed this in the beginning, but a lot of
It's
people,
okay.
They would like to know the limit number of participants.
Okay, I've known a server which has 500,000 users. It's a server for this game called Minecraft. If you're familiar, I think your kids probably know about this. Minecraft, everyone is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that server has 500,000 users. Yes. So I don't think there's a limit to number of students. I have 60 students in my class, and we've conducted the virtual lecture online using Discord. So far, everyone is happy. So yeah, talking about limits, yeah, there's no limit for the number of users in the server itself. But if you want to do, for example, if you want everyone to share their screens, yeah, like for example, if I'm in this voice channel, okay, I think only up to 25 people can share their videos at one time. For example, if you want to have 25 faces talking to each other, you can have only 25 people in one time for videos. For sharing screen, I think up to 50. Now, I think there's a good reason for this, because in an actual situation where you have to teach, you don't really want to, well, for me at least, I don't want my students to be too distracted with what others are doing. So usually when I do lecture online, it's only either my face and my screen. And then whenever the students want to do presentation, for example, then I allow them to do the video presentation. But if you want to teach in a way that you need to see everyone's faces at one time, in the voice channel, I think you can do it up to 25 people at one time. You can fill up your screen with your students' faces. And for screen sharing, you can I think one voice channel can screen share 50 screens at one time.
Okay, there are a lot more for you.
No, it's okay.
Okay, this question says, what is the function of manage webhooks in the voice permission? That was the question.
I haven't actually explored that yet, webhooks. Actually, that's a good question. I need to explore that one yet. I need to explore that one soon. I've looked at it. I don't really understand what it does, but it doesn't really interfere with the functions I needed so far. So I didn't really pay attention to that one. I'll find it out though. That's a good question. I'll find it out.
Cool. Another question from Dr. Fadlina. Do we have to create new session every time we want to communicate with the students? Not sure if you have addresses.
Create new session. Okay.
Every time you want to communicate with your students.
Okay. It's like this. Okay, the server is there. The channels are already there. If you want to start a session, just go to that lecture. For example, you go to that channel, and then just start your session like that. So yes, in a way, you will start a session every time, but as long as there's some people in the lecture, you can start it anytime.
Just like MIRC.
Yeah, just like MRC, it's there, so you don't have to send out links every time. You don't have to, you can just set time with your students. Say, for example, okay, I'm doing a lecture on Thursday 2 p.m. Be there in the Discord server, and then everyone will be there, and then you can just say, okay, everyone, let's just go to the lecture room, lecture voice channels, and I'll just go in and then start to go live, share my screen. Okay, and then I'll just do it. Just start
Awesome.
teaching. Yep.
Another question from Alicia Ismail. She's interested to know the software that you use to record the screen.
Okay. I have that in my, let me show that to you. I'm using the OBS, Open Broadcaster software. This is, oops, what is this? Oh. This is what I'm using so far. OBS, it's this is my choice right now. It's a free, it's open source. It can record your screen. It can also stream whatever you're recording online straight to YouTube, Facebook Live, or whatever is the streaming site you want. So I think this one is useful. I recommend watching this YouTube channel. I've posted it up on the Google Slides, and it's just a quick 8 minutes introduction. Download it. You can just start straight away. You can stream, you can record your screen, and many other things. Another app which I found people use, they say it's very user-friendly, is Loom. I haven't used this because I've already using I'm already using OBS, so probably this will be better for some of you. Loom, yeah, I think I saw one a lecturer was giving a presentation on this one. Another one, alang-alang kita dah cakap pasal benda ni. I like to introduce you to a super software. I like to use this one. It's called Screen to Give. Now, this is very useful for low bandwidth teaching. That means you don't want to spend too much, megabytes. You don't want to send a lecture video of 2 gigabytes. Hey, students, please watch this 2 gigabytes of my lecture. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Probably you don't want to do that. Probably you want to just send pictures, but probably pictures doesn't really suit your needs. So you can have moving pictures or GIF files. So GIF files is just it's usually smaller than a video file. It's animated like what I'm using here. You can just record a selected area to your screen and save it as GIF. For example, I can show you some of my GIF here. This is I think Dr. Rafida was posting a GIF of Elmo there. If you can see that, that's a GIF. So you can use that. I just show you another example of a GIF. Here, this one, I posted a GIF. It moved by itself. It's not really a video actually, but it's an animated pictures. So I can show step-by-step calculations, for example, using GIF. I think Screen to GIF is a powerful tool to use for your low bandwidth teaching.
Yeah,
okay.
Dr. Salah,
Sure.
question for you from
Sure.
Nadia Hussaini. She asks, does the lecturer have to be logged in for students to use the breakout rooms, or can they access it without lecturer's presence?
The short answer is yes. They can access whatever channels or do even the voice channels without your presence. If you don't like that, for example, if you don't want your students to abuse or the voice channels, for example, you want them to only use those breakout groups when you're around. You can set in your, set as a rule. For example, if you have a voice channel here, you can do that. For example, rules here. Okay, I think there's an option where you can only get into the channel when you activate this one, for example. Yeah, for example, you can only connect. So let's say you don't set this, you don't want them to connect to that voice channels. Only when you're on, when you're in, okay, everyone, I've turned this on. Now you can use the voice channel. You can do that. So we can do both actually.
I have the questions for you myself,
Yeah.
Dr. Salah, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
The first one, is there any security issues concerning the use of Discord? That was my first question. My second question would be, if I consider myself a digitally challenged person, would it be a steep learning curve for me to learn how to use Discord?
The first question about security, I think at this stage, whatever you're using on the internet has at least some security issues. But I haven't heard anything about the security issues of Discord. I'm not saying that there's none. There are probably some cases where security, but I haven't heard myself. In my experience, I've never heard of security issues. Like what they say about Discord bombing or something like that. I haven't heard any of that. But a good practice is to always know the users in your server, for example. I'm going to show you how to do that. For example, you have set up this server and you don't want any random person to be in your server.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So you can always set the server setting for the privacy setting, for example. Okay. So in this privacy setting, you can was it privacy setting or is it server setting, moderation, user management, is it invites or bans? Let me see if I forgot where it was, but you can actually wait, I asked my students also. I forgot where it was. I haven't done it for quite a while. Hey guys, macam mana nak set up supaya orang tertentu je boleh masuk server? Tolong type kan? Moderation. Oh, see someone. So moderation, I can go here, server settings, on moderation. There you go. Sorry, moderation. So if I want to limit who can access my server, I can do this. Right now it's unrestricted. Anyone can join in because I need, okay. Now, for example, you can set it to low where they have to have an email account or they have to be in Discord for longer than 5 minutes. This is to avoid bots and stuff. Or maybe they must have a verified phone, for example. So this is the highest one. If you,
what does it say?
Must have a verified phone on their Discord account. So this is the highest level of security. The second one is must also be a member of the server for longer than 10 minutes, for example. You can set all this in the moderation. Server settings, go to server settings and go to moderation. Now for the second question, if I'm not really, comfortable with new stuff, for example, if you download new software, you kind of take a while to actually understand software. Actually, it happened to me as well. I didn't discover Discord on my own. I asked one of my students help to actually teach me on how to use Discord. The good thing is most of the students knows how to use Discord. So actually, yeah, my students here, for example, this is Shaira here. We developed a guide on how to set up your server, just the basic one, how to quickly set up your lecture online in Discord, just the basic ones. And then all the other small stuff, I think you learn it along the way. But honestly, for myself, in the beginning, it was the students who actually suggested me to Discord and then taught me a few basic things. And then after that, I learned it on my own. It's not hard to start at all. So I think what I've given you here today, hopefully, I think that covers the basics. All the small stuff, I think you can learn it along the way. There's a lot of forums as well. And there's also this Discord server where you can just ask questions and then hopefully some of us will answer.
Awesome.
Okay, if you, I just want to show one last thing about using Discord is for some of us who are teaching math, for example, or engineering. One of the difficulties we always find in whether in LMS system or WhatsApp or video conferencing app is to display mathematical equations. There's no way to do that nicely on chat rooms, for example. But Discord has a nice options. We have nice options to do that. For example, this is my space mechanics. Is a course on orbital mechanics. So we uses a lot of math. So when we use a lot of math, I need to write down a lot of math also. So if you know how to use LaTeX, for example, then you know that LaTeX is a powerful tool to write down mathematical equation, for example. So what I did was I installed a bot called TextIt bot. Okay, so the way I do that is I go online. I have already set up the link here. So what I did was just go to that. Okay, it will go to this link, TextIt bot, and I invite this bot to my server. Bot is something that is it's not an actual human being, but it's a robot. But it helps you to manage your server. So you can select your server, whichever server you want it to be. So for example, UPMK. Just continue here. Okay. I think maybe I can just do this. Dash for Manish rules. Okay, I think I'll authorize everything at this moment. Okay, so when I go back to this one, yeah, this is a tech bot here. I'll just post it in our Discord server here. Okay, with this, what I can do though, let me show you an example of what we can do with this. I can actually type out math equations like this. For example, let me show you a new one. You can, if you know LaTeX, this will be really useful for math teachers, for example. So you can just type that, and then it's pretty this way. So I can just probably copy this and then paste it somewhere. Copy image, paste it in your slides, for example. You can do that. Okay, and the good thing about TextIt bot is it also allows you to use Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha is it's an online computation. I think it's software app to help me with simple calculation. For example, what I've done here. Oh, sorry, this is. So for example, if I have, I can type comma W 2x plus 1 equals 0, solve for x. So what it is doing is, so it's doing this calculation on their own. So this is really powerful tool if you are teaching math, for example. And it can not only algebra, it can also handle linear algebra, numerical analysis, for example, quite well. It can do plots and stuff like that also. For example, I have done a few things here. Let me check if I have it. Yeah, for example, this one here, I'm using Euler method to solve a differential equation. You can only use this. All you need to do is just type whatever you're trying to do. For example, let me try to do new things here. Comma W, plot sine X. Ta-da! So it does that. So you can go to the channel, do the link if you want. If you're not familiar with Wolfram Alpha yet, I suggest you so go to the website and see what you can do with it. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. So I use this a lot in my class because I think it provides me a great tool, online tool to teach math and engineering, for example. You can try explore this. It's really simple as they have examples and everything here. But if you want to do this in Discord, like I said, we need to invite the TextIt bot, and the instructions have already been given in Google Slides. Okay, Dr. Faiz,
Yeah,
is there anything else?
yeah. Questions for you.
Sure.
There are a couple of questions that I noticed here in the chat room. The first one is from Dr. Rafida Hod. She asked, "Is Discord available as a mobile app?"
Discord yes, it's available as a mobile app, but it's pretty limited. I don't think you can screen share using mobile app, but check again because right now I think Discord is trying to improve their app. So because some of them even some of the functionalities here are quite new as in like probably they updated this a week ago. So check again. But last time when I used mobile app, the mobile version, it couldn't do the screen sharing, it couldn't do the webcam, so it can only do what the web version can do. I think, but you need to check though because I haven't used it for quite a while. I've been using the desktop version, so I haven't really visited that app mobile version yet.
Cool. Another from Dr. Chong.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what he says. But others can join too if they are a verified Discord user. Can we set to be unlisted? Only invited user can join.
So invitation, yeah. You mean you want to set your Discord server to private, for example? Is that the question?
Yeah, I think he's
Okay.
concerned with the security,
The
invited
security.
user
Okay.
only. Yeah.
Okay. I think one of the steps you can use before was this one. You can set your server setting, go to moderation, and you can set your verification level. You can only choose certain people with actual Discord account, actual email, which you can use. That's one. Another one, when you want to share out the invite links, yeah, for example, if you can go invite people here. So you can see here, your invite link expires in 1 day. So you can actually the link that I've given just now, at the end of the day, it will be expired. No one can use that link anymore. You can have the options of, expire after 30 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 12 hours, or never.
Can we customize the link? Are we allowed to do that?
I haven't tried it. You mean, I think it's, yeah, no,
It's
truthfully, I
generated
haven't
by
really,
default, right?
yes, it's generated by default. And I don't think you can actually customize the invite link. But if you want to use like the, tiny URL and stuff like that, I think you can. But I think this is short enough. I think it's okay. So what I'll do is just I copy this and then send it privately to my students. So only they know the invite links, and I don't really post it on Facebook or whatever for security reasons. You're right.
Yeah, more questions
Yeah.
from Dr. Chong.
Oh,
Can
nice.
other user of verified people join the server without the invitation? Can other user of verified Discord account join the server without the invitation?
No, they need the invitation link to join the server.
So
Yeah,
that's the answer. Okay.
yeah. They need the invite link to actually
Okay.
join the server. Yes, and if you want, like I said, if you don't want like anyone to just be in your server, like
Barge
I said,
in, right.
go to the moderation, and then also your invite links, you send it specifically to your students. I just remember another important point. If you happen to be a high school teacher or a primary school teacher, for example, I don't recommend using Discord for your class. Again, I repeat, Discord for education is not suitable for school students. I would say below 18 or below 13 students. The reason is because, well, in Discord, you can imagine Discord like a realm. You can find many servers. You can join in my server, you can join my class server, you can join some UPM server, for example. And there are also other servers which related to gaming communities and other subculture stuff like anime. So some of these stuff are not suitable for under 18, if you know what I mean. So I don't recommend using this for school students, but for university students, I think they are mature enough. They will it's on different server. You can just not allow that in your server. But like I said, every Discord server can find other servers like Minecraft or gaming stuff like that. So I don't think it's suitable for school students. That's all. For university students, I think it's okay. They've been using it already. So yes, I think even in the Discord website, also it provide you a warning that it's not suitable for 13 and below. But just to be safe, just don't use it for your school, high school or primary school.
Okay, and there is a question from Dr. Nur Hisham.
Uh-huh.
So I think he needs some clarification with the link. So this is what he says. Meaning dengan link orang boleh join.
Yes, dengan link orang boleh join. So what you do is just send in the link to your students. The students will click on it, and they will be brought to this server.
Cool. There is one question from Dr. Zatul Himmah Adnan. So she asked, can we change the background color?
Oh,
maybe
yeah. It only has two, dark and light. So what I do is, okay, here I go to user settings, okay, and in my user settings I have this appearance, okay. So I have only two options: theme, light, like this. Okay, I think probably you prefer this. Colorful, yeah. And also you can also set the appearance. For example, appearance here, you want message display to be cozy, you know, so you can see everyone's face. That's fine too. Sadly, there are only two themes, light and dark. I like dark because, you know, when you're working at night, it kind of make you concentrate more.
Yeah, I think another question from Dr. Hisham. I think he just joined. That's what he said. He just joined 15 minutes ago.
Okay, it's okay.
So he would like to know, bila pelajar join, do they need to log in as their name? How do we know the name of the students who joined the session?
What I did before, because I realized some of my students have already joined Discord way before I set up the classroom. So they have like weird names and stuff like that. So I always advise them, if you want to join my class, just temporarily, you know, change your name. And for example, they have, some nickname, for example, but if you can just ask them to change their name for your sessions only. And that's what I did to my students, and most of them have no problem with that.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you're concerned about attendance, for example, like I said, I think the best option if you want to do online attendance is always Google Form. You create a form on Google, and do your online attendance using that. And here you go. One of my senpais was suggesting you can change your name only for a server, and it won't affect the original name. For example, if you're a hardcore Discord user, you have your name, everyone knows your name. I don't know, Dragon Ball Z 123, for example. If that's your nickname, everyone knows you by that name. You can use a different name for this server. It's okay. So tell your students, don't worry about whatever your online nickname is. You can always change it back. And even admin also can change someone else's name. So if you are not satisfied with someone else's name, just like Kahoot, yeah, remember when we use Kahoot, there's no naughty names. So you can do that as well here. But so far, I think my students are, they I didn't have to tell them. They know it. So pretty respectful.
Dr. Salah,
Yeah.
Dr. Hisham would like to know if students
Mm.
are allowed to change their name while they are online
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
anytime, maybe.
Yeah. Anytime. Anytime they're online.
Mm.
So, okay, if you are, for example, if you don't know how to set up your classroom, yeah, what we have done, me and my students, we have create a template. A template meaning that if you can just click this link right here, okay, and then it will bring you to Discord. For example, if I have this here, okay, I just click this link. I've already made you a template. So you can just click on this link, continue to Discord. What will happen is the link will bring you to your Discord. And then you are going to have your empty classroom virtual classroom like this. So in case you don't want to spend time create different channels, different voice channels, I've created that for you already with the moderation and stuff. So you can just create this template. Or if you want some other templates, you can always go to this website here, discordapp.com/ydiscord for a quick server setup using existing template. So they have template for dance classes, book clubs, digital conventions, study groups, English 101 and English 102. So you can just click on it and then they will set the server up for you and you can just get your online lecture up and running. Okay. I think we
Cool.
already, yeah. So before I attend to any questions, I would like to, these are all my senpais. They initially, some of them helped me with setting up the server and then, teaching other students who are not familiar with students. So they enjoyed this project. I think they learn more right now about how to conduct online learning. Not online teaching is for us, for them, online learning. And I think it's a good point. I just wanna inform. Whenever we do online courses, yeah, um, the tools are just the tools. You pick one that is suitable for you. You don't have to use Discord, for example. It worked for me. It might not work for you. So that's why I stick with Discord. When people say, "Oh, use this," well, I'm comfortable with Discord. My students are happy about it. So, like I said, stick to your own tools. The less, the better. If you only use two tools, for example, that's the best. One, that's the best. So don't get too excited with all these shiny new equipments you're gonna have. So stick with one, and then also keep in mind that at the end, it's all about your students. It's not about you showing off your stuff. Hey, I know about Discord. I can show this. Look at all these pretty things. At the end, it's all about your students. What matters is your students, whether they can actually learn or not. So I think if I can give an advice, I think that should be my advice. Just limit to the tools that you're comfortable using, and always think about your students. So always, that's the reason why I mentioned about the low bandwidth teaching and stuff like that, because I want to also help my students who have slow internet connections, for example. And we at CADE, we are ready to help all the lecturers on choosing their online tools, what they want. If they want to do this, for example, we give you a tutorial on how to do that. And you can always post on my server, the UPM Kate server on Discord if you want to have question, or you can just send me email, WhatsApp. Never mind, I can just show you how to use Screen to Give, for example, how to use the OBS recording software, all this small stuff. I can always help you. We can always help you with that. So I think with that, I I pass it to Dr. Faiz. If there's any question, I will answer those questions before we end the session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Salah, for the sharing. Really appreciate that.